Bro, she didn't need the money. So all of a sudden, bro, when you don't like this lifestyle and you've got millions of dollars in the bank, you don't need to do it anymore. You know what I'm saying, bro? So I'm sure that had a lot to do with it as well, you know?
Let's talk about Ronda Rousey saying that pro wrestling is not a sport. She said a lot of wrestlers and stuff will be like, wrestling is real. I got this injury or that injury. I'm like, okay, as a competitor in an actual sport, I'm never worried about getting injured. I'm worried about losing. That's the most stressful part of it. Injuries are not at all what you're thinking about. That's not what makes it real or makes it hard. It's the uncertainty of the outcome. When people are like, it's a real sport. No, it's not a real sport. It's a very intense performance, which I have a lot of respect for, but it's not a sport. If you've ever dealt with the stress and anxiety that comes with competition, you can't take that out and call it a sport. It's so tough. It's very physical, but it's not a sport. As someone who is a world heavyweight champion in the industry right now, what say ye about Ronda Rousey's comments, EC3?
Well, I don't know what they did over there, but here at the NWA, we're as real as it gets. That's why I am the living, breathing embodiment of the greatest champions of all time and the current NWA World Heavyweight Champion, EC3, because I literally competed and literally won that title by defeating Tyrus in a bull rope match at NWA 70. It's, of course, she's right. She's like, it's not a sport. A sport dictates it as a competition where you are legitimately competing against each other. Now, I don't want to get into the rumors and innuendo that UFC has probably pulled some strings to manufacture some results for better business, but she's 100% right in that sense. It is the most intense performance one could probably do. The physicality is real. We are athletes. It is athletic. And, you know, the risks are super high, more so than majority of sports are the risks. I don't know how many people were going around the WWE locker room saying to Ronda Rousey, who is a UFC champion, this is a real sport. Like, I think, I don't know, maybe she's embellishing one person's opinion to sound like the masses, but she is correct. It is a very intense performance. The competition, though, lies not what you do in the ring and the wins or the losses. It lies within competing with your peers for spots and opportunities. And, you know, the toughest part of it is the competition you have with yourself and all different facets of physical and mental wear and tear.
Indeed. Vince, what say ye about these just cavalcade of interviews from Ronda Rousey burying the business?
Yeah, bro, she's real. She had a really bad experience.
Yeah,
Chris. I mean, you know, I don't know. Obviously, you know, there was issues with Bruce. She had a real bad experience, bro. I think, bro, and I said it way back then, man. I think what really happened with Ronda was, bro, listen, man, when she was training for an MMA fight, you know, bro, she was going home every night. She had the same routine every day. She ate meals the same hours every day. When she signed up with the WWE, bro, and started going to house shows and out on the road, that's a totally different animal. Now, all of a sudden, bro, if you take somebody, you know, an athlete that has a regimen that they follow every single day. I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock. I'm going to do cardio to 6. At 6 o'clock, I'm going to have protein. Like, to be a champion, that's the regimen she had to have, where I guarantee you it was the same every day. Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, bro, you're going on the road. When am I going to work out? How can I eat correctly? When am I going to be home to see my family? And bro, honestly, she probably spoke up about that because she was probably having an issue with it. And go back to what EC3 just said, you know, with Triple H. Bro, don't talk to me about a part-time schedule. You know, you've got to be in this for the long haul. And the reality of it was, bro, she probably wasn't and really had no idea what she was signing up for.
Sure.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. You want to be on top in that business, in that company, in any company. It has to be your full psychological, physical investment, mental, spiritual, all that. I think, too, when you're competing at a high level like she was with the UFC, to Vince's point, the schedule being kind of ordained, you have coaches keeping you accountable, you have people driving you, those meal preps, you have it prepared for you, your training is private, spot on, very regimented. Dude, I spent 3 hours today prepping for the road, cooking my own food, packing it, putting all this work in where, like, dude, I'm a world champion, man. Like, I should be training, sleeping, eating, training, sleeping, eating, massages, but I still do all the wear and tear that comes with the schedule to compete at a high level because we don't have those caveats, so to speak.
Let's just add one other thing to this, because when you talk about like her mindset, bro, she didn't need the money. So all of a sudden, bro, when you don't like this lifestyle and you've got millions of dollars in the bank, you don't need to do it anymore. You know what I'm saying, bro? So I'm sure that had a lot to do with it as well.
Let me ask you, EC3, from a standpoint of, so Ronda Rousey, she's a combat sports athlete, and so the concussion protocol when it comes to combat sports such as MMA and boxing is that you have to wait several months before you compete in matches for the protection of the competitor.
Right.
WWE in many ways is considered a combat sport as well. Why isn't the same type of concussion protocol honored and really focused on with all the CTE, research coming out and things like that, as far as just the wear and tear, just psychologically, and just as far as brain function is concerned? Why isn't concussion protocols like that upheld or focused on as much in pro wrestling? So I'm thinking like Ronda Rousey is used to only competing a few times a year, because of concussion protocol. So it was definitely a huge scheduling difference as far as MMA to WWE, as far as that routine wear and tear of just traveling. What do you say about that?
Are you talking about after a competitive fight, they're required to take time off?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they have to take time.
I will say, to WWE's credit, like at the apex of the business they are, they take concussions very seriously, and they have the impact test, and you have to go through the rigors and check with doctors. And even if you were cleared of a test but you didn't feel right, they're never going to rush you back. Well, except for the fact they called me up with a concussion once, but that's another story. But as far as like perhaps, maybe it's a scheduled kind of off season because we get nicked and nacked quite a bit, or maybe it's not a heavy like blow to the head, loss of consciousness sort of thing. But I guess in the fight game, preparing for the fact that you probably got hit in the face for real multiple times, your body needs to recover. Maybe it's just the aspect of competition versus intense performance. But maybe in off season, like if anybody has any issue at WWE, especially, like even if you felt a slight headache, they would hold you out. They would not make you go out there. It's not like the days of the past at all.
That's good. That's
very, 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 very conscious of concussions.
Yeah.
But there is no scheduled time off. So you could be getting nicked countless time, and maybe little baby injuries, and not notice it until the big one happens.
Mm-hmm.
The reset. So
yep.
We understand that getting into it, though, really, and it's unfortunate, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point there. I think about things psychologically, man. I'm thinking about when it comes to CTE stuff and just the the concussions, the open, concussions, the open skull, closed skull, contusions, contra coup, things like that, and all those types of concussions and things like that, as far as just how important it is to really protect your brain, man. And yes, you signed up for it. Yes, the money's good, the wear and tear. Yes, the dopamine, the thrill, and stuff like that. But as far as this concussion protocols and WWE is great, but there's only a fraction of people in the WWE compared to wrestling all around the globe.
Yeah.
And that's where my issue and that's where my concern comes in when it comes to WWE only being, they have the money, to focus on that, but it's only a small percentage compared to wrestlers globally.
I was thinking, trying to look up this thing, methylene blue. I'm trying to find the company.
Okay.
Started it, but I can't. Meki, Mekiai, but methylene blue was created by a UFC fighter, and it has been showing promising ways to combat CTE and things of that nature. So I've had it in my life and take it, get a blue tongue sometimes because you kind of drop it in, but there is like an immediate kind of like clarity and with sustained use. Yeah, I think it's helped, because I'm sure I'm damaged goods.
Now, is that more like a one-time concussion thing? Because you really can't do the frequent impact that your brain is having, a tablet or whatever won't be able to counter that.
Yeah, no, it's a consistent usage for slight improvement, okay. But I'm sure
so any improvement is improving, but I mean, the impact, it doesn't change the impact of the skull. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think if I get blasted by an errant right hand in the temple by some big lug who never should have been in a wrestling ring, I'm probably going to get concussed just the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the best formula, the best thing to do when you're concussed.
Ice on the neck. Do I? Well, it changed
because for concussions.
Sit in your own solitude and sorrow. Don't look at blue light. Ice your neck. Rest.
There you go. Bingo. Right there. Rest. Rest is the number one thing for concussions. But the symptoms you were talking about was important to do as far as just lights and stuff like that. Those unfortunately comes with concussions. And I really hope that pro wrestlers, I was just looking at I know Vince, you and Al Snow, do just recaps of
it's brutal. It's
crazy and stupid. It's ridiculous.
It's brutal, man. It's brutal.
Dopamine addiction high.
Yeah.
Spots and they go and it goes through my reels on Facebook too. And I saw this. I was like, the bump. It was this guy. They were up a bunch of tables. They went up a bunch of ladders. They had to be probably 30 feet in the air, man. And dude just did a side slam. And he jumped off a scaffold onto tables on the bottom. And it seems like, the dude looked like he was dead. I mean, he was like, he wasn't dead, but he was just knocked out, man. And I was just thinking in my head, see, stuff like that is what I'm talking about.
Oh my God, bro. It's on today's show with Al, bro. We had, match after match after match, landing on the head, the backs, the way the neck is snapped. Oh my God. It's so hard to watch, bro. It's so hard to watch because you're watching something like that, bro. And you're talking about complications for freaking decades, man. Decades. Yeah. And that's what makes it so painful to watch.
Yes, absolutely, man. Yeah, and WWE, thank God they have, good protocols, man. But I mean, there's for every person in WWE, there's an indie promotion down the street. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So of wrestlers trying to get their big break, you know, and just having stupid.
They have that mindset they'll never get the break.
Yeah, 100%, man. We got EC3. We got Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris. This is the Wrestling Outlaws. Have a good night, buddy.
Real fast, if those guys want to get a break, make sure you come check me out in Cleveland, Ohio, when we open the CYN Cooperative Wrestling School. All right, bye.
Nice, good plug, man. EC3 for the win, ladies and gentlemen. Vince Russo, EC3. Vince wants me to do the gimmick, even in my pajama pants. Slap, baby, yeah, so long.